Hi, I'm Jilly G. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to show you my broccoli cheese soup. Gluten-free, of course. And it's going to be more than just broccoli. I always like to put in extra vegetables, and I always like to add in potatoes. And sometimes it's whatever vegetables are left in the fridge. For example, I don't always add little peppers. I have some little peppers, so why not? Salt and pepper, chicken stock, and in my big pot over there, I have some olive oil and some butter and some of my gluten-free flour. I'm going to saute some of the vegetables, and then I'll make a little bit of a roux, and then I'll add in the rest. But as you can see, I've got a lot of chopping to do. In a bowl right here, this is 4 stalks of celery, 3 carrots, 4 little peppers, 4 potatoes, 1 onion, 3 cloves of garlic, and then I have 4 big bunches of broccoli. And what I do with these because I don't like the tops to cook as long as everything else, but I do like to use the stems. And so I will cut the stems up into about bite-sized pieces that my carrots and celery and onion will be. And then I'll saute those at the same time. And then once things are starting to soften, I'll cut my tops into smaller pieces and then put those in more towards the end so they don't get so mushy. But with the broccoli stems, I just cut off the kind of the tough outer skin. Smallish pieces. You can leave the little leaves on if you want to, but I kind of pick them off. And once the stem gets closer up to the top of where the tops of the broccoli are, it's not as tough, and so I leave that on. Except for that part. Ooh, and this part. But cut off any questionable spots. I got myself a little garbage bag. So there's all of my broccoli stems. Now I'm going to get cutting up my celery, my carrots, and my peppers, onions, and garlic. If my celery had greens on the top, I'd probably throw those in too. But sometimes it's hard to find celery that has tops on them at the grocery store. And I want to go roughly the same-ish size. That piece is a little big. But fairly small pieces, at least for these parts. What is a squeaky celery? Now for my carrots. And I know these aren't really cooking peppers. They're not bell peppers. But I think they'll add nice flavor to my soup. I'm going to put my garlic in this little bowl because we're not ready for it yet. So in my big stock pot, I have about 2 tablespoons of olive oil and 2 tablespoons of butter. Once those are melted and heated, I'm going to start sauteing my vegetables with some salt and pepper. And I can start cutting up my broccoli, just smallish pieces. I know sometimes people will put their broccoli soup in a blender, but I don't do that. In fact, usually what I do is, once everything is as cooked as I want it to be, I'll mash it with my potato masher, get my potatoes kind of broken up a little bit, carrots, whatever else is in there, and then throw in the broccoli, kind of towards the end. Once your olive oil and butter are melted, pour in your onions, peppers, carrots, celery, and broccoli stems. A little bit of salt and pepper. Give that a good stir. Those are almost ready for the garlic, and then the potatoes. And these are just Yukon Gold potatoes that I didn't peel. You can take the peels off if you want to. And I'll have little broccoli bits because I was cutting up my broccoli before my potatoes. Adding your garlic. Now add in your 4 potatoes. A little bit more salt and pepper. And I just realized I should have added in my flour before my potatoes, but this will be fine. 2 tablespoons of flour, and give this a really good stir. Once your flour is cooked a little bit with your vegetables, pour in your 6 cups of chicken stock and give it a really good stir. I'm going to add in a little bit more salt and pepper. That's on about medium-high. Once it comes up to a boil, I'll turn it down to a simmer. But I'm going to finish cutting up my broccoli tops. And some of these do have a little bit of stems in there, but it'll be fine. Cutting up broccoli is always so messy. Okay, broccoli is ready to go. Now I just need to grate some cheese and wait for that to come up to a boil. Once your soup is up to a boil, give it a really good stir and turn it down to a simmer. Once my vegetables are as done as I'd like them to be, I'll mash them a little bit with my masher, and then I'll add in my broccoli, and then I'll start slowly adding in my cheese that I still need to grate. I've got some sharp white cheddar and then just some regular cheddar, probably 4 ounces of each. But you could really do whatever cheese you like. I just like the combination of both. And my vegetables are almost ready to start mashing. I'm going to taste my soup and see if it needs any salt and pepper. And I'm going to add in just a little bit more salt and pepper. And I think I'm going to add in a little bit of smoked paprika. And my vegetables are soft enough, I'm just going to mash, not all the way, but just to break them apart a little bit. And then give it a good stir. You can really add whatever spices that you like. I just like the more simple version. Mashing those potatoes in there kind of gives it a really thick consistency. I am going to add in a little bit of cream, but I'm going to add in my broccoli first and let this cook for just a minute before I add in my cheese. And give this a really good stir. Once your broccoli is as done as you'd like it to be, start adding in your cheese a handful at a time. Adding in that cheese really thickens the soup up. If you like a thinner soup, I forgot the heavy cream. Almost forgot. And this is just about a 1/4 cup. I kept it in the fridge. No need to worry about having it sit out. And just stir this in. And the residual heat, you don't really need to cook it, but you can if you want to. And this will thicken up as it cools. You can sprinkle on a little extra cheese. Really any kind of garnish that you want. Even though it's all just going to melt because it's still hot. If you put this in a blender, it would be really smooth. But I like it kind of chunky like this. Really simple, but really good. The peppers and the carrots just add a little bit of extra, and even that little bit of smoked paprika that I added in there, just a little bit of extra flavor. But broccoli is the most dominant flavor, which is what you want it to be. And I like the combination of both of those cheddars. Really good. This would go really well with my saltine crackers. I'll put a link for that video below. But this goes really well with those. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you on the next one.